What's going on, world? This is your boy B, and welcome to another episode where the truth lives here. On this episode, we're going to talk about what size of derma roller should you be using for your hair loss. You know, you may be thinking, hey, listen, I'm looking for some results, but if you don't have the right tools, then you may not be getting the results that you want. But let's go ahead and break this down right now. What are the different sizes of derma rollers that are out there in the marketplace that you should know about? Well, you have number one, a 0.15 millimeter. Number two, you have a 0.25 millimeter. Number three, you have a 0.5 millimeter. Number four, you have a 0.75 millimeter. Number five, you have a 1.0 millimeter. And number six, you have a 1.5 millimeter. All these different sizes do different things, and we're going to go into what those different sizes do right now. What are the best sizes for your derma roller? Well, I like to break this up in two buckets. The first bucket, I like to look at derma rollers that have a smaller needle size, and then the second bucket, I like to look at derma rollers that have a longer needle size. But let's look at the first bucket. When we're talking about smaller needles, we're talking about a 1.5 millimeter to about a 0.25 millimeter when we're talking about the derma roller size. This is really great for absorbing topical treatments, topical scalp treatments that you are using for your hair loss. For example, if you are using like the My Hair Repair serum, which is a therapeutic hair loss scalp treatment, this is that smaller needles are going to be great for absorbing this particular tool. Now, when we're looking at the second bucket, the longer needles, the derma rollers with the longer needles, that's going to be 0.5 millimeter to about 1.5 millimeter. And let me show you exactly what that looks like. So when we're looking at a 0.5 millimeter, we're looking at something like this here with these needles here. And when we're looking at a 1.5 millimeter, this is what a 1.5 millimeter looks like. As you can see, they have different sizes. Now, what are the benefits from using these particular sizes? Well, number one, it's going to help with stimulating hair growth by facilitating the supply of nutrients to your hair follicles. I'm going to say that one more time. It's going to help with stimulating hair growth by facilitating a supply of nutrients to your hair follicles. The second benefit is that it's going to increase blood flow to the scalp. The third benefit is that stem cells are triggered in your scalp, thus inducing your hair growth cycle. And if you guys are aware of what the hair growth cycle is, remember is you have anagen, the growth phase, you have the catagen, which is the bridge into telogen, which is when your hair is at the resting phase and it begins to shed. With the derma roller, it's going to help with inducing the anagen phase, the growth phase. So this is really great when you're using the longer needle sizes versus when you're using the smaller needle sizes. So how often should you be using these different derma roller sizes? Well, we want to put these derma roller sizes back into their buckets. Okay, you remember our buckets? We had the first bucket, which consisted of derma rollers that had the smaller needles. And then we had the second bucket of derma rollers that consisted of the longer needles. Let's focus on our first bucket of derma rollers with the smaller needles. And that is the 0.15 millimeter to the 0.25 millimeter derma roller sizes. And you want to use these particular derma rollers every 1 to 3 days, every 1 to 3 days. Now let's look at our second bucket, which consists of our derma rollers with the longer needles. And those particular sizes are going to consist of 0.5 millimeter to 1.25 millimeter, all right? And you want to use these particular sizes every 1 to 3 weeks. Now, there will be some slight bleeding, all right? But just be mindful that the needles are a little bit longer and they go deeper into the scalp, which makes them a lot more effective. Now, if you are concerned or worried after using the derma roller for whatever reason, please go visit your dermatologist just to do a quick checkup. Well, I appreciate you watching this episode. I hope you got a ton of information. Please check our previous episodes that we've done. Look out for our next episode. As always, this is your boy B, and you already know, I'm out.